Hi everyone. So today I thought I would do a bit of a different video, take a break from all the makeup stuff, and I think I'm going to start a new series which is where I'm going to talk about different aspects of what being disabled means to me and how that's affected my life. So I thought I would start with kind of an easier topic to talk about, which is disability and hospitals and operations and all the procedures that I've had to go through because of my cerebral palsy, or procedures that normal people go through that have had to be adapted or changed because of my cerebral palsy, if that makes any sense. So, as you can imagine, being disabled has a lot of different medical procedures that go along with that. Varying different degrees depending on your disability and stuff, but I've had to have, well, quite a few operations and quite a few different procedures and just quite a few different tests for different things at different times. But I think one of my first surgeries I ever remember having was one where basically my hamstrings, because of my cerebral palsy and my muscle spasms, they get really stiff, so they have to be like cut, and that operation is the most horrible thing I'll ever experience, because they cut the muscles from, like, they basically cut your muscles, so it's really weird. But you can't really move your legs for a while afterwards because it doesn't feel right because your muscles have been cut. Well, your hamstrings anyway, and like those procedures are always, I think, were always the worst for me because I had to have leg braces, well, splints to keep my legs straight, and then slowly over a couple of months I had to then like learn to bend my legs again. And the last time I had that, I think I've had it done 2 or 3 times. Last time I had that procedure done was 2015. Possibly. I think maybe it was 2014, 2015 was the last time that I had that one done. But I also I had it done when I was like 7 or 8, something like that. So I had it done then. But before that, they tried Botox injections, which is another fun procedure. Not at all. But, yeah, so those are all my leg ones. Basically, like, legs I feel like are really difficult for me to manage because they spasm. So, like, if they're in pain, I'm going to spasm more. So those are definitely difficult ones to deal with. But of course, like, when you're in hospital and stuff, you get medication for pain, and then when you're at home, it's a different kettle of fish because, like, you're adapting to life at home with leg splints, and trying to find a comfy position in bed with leg splints is not fun. My mum and dad will both tell you that they don't like it when I'm like that because they get frustrated because they can't get me comfy. It's a delightful time. But yeah, so that was probably one of my first, not major operations, but like big ones. And then my other big one was my scoliosis surgery in 2000. It was 2015. My back surgery one. Basically, scoliosis is curvature of the spine, and I had like a 70-80% curve, which is really bad. The curve in my back was due to sitting positions and just general, my muscle spasms wanting to pull me over to pull my hips to the right, but my shoulders to the left. So my back was basically like an S shape, if you can imagine that. So basically what they had to do was they had to put loads of metal in my spine, So I have a lot of screws and a lot of rods, basically, in my spine that help to keep me straight. Like, my curve isn't 100% gone. 100% gone even? Not gone. 100% gone. But with the correct seating positions and looking after myself, I can help manage it to a certain degree. And due to my scoliosis, I also have like really weird ribs that are slightly like, because before I had the surgery, like, I was growing to the left, so my ribs also grew to the left, so they kind of stick out a bit now. But I appreciate, they're kind of a reminder of everything that I went through with that surgery, because it was a lot. At one point I was on 3 breaths per minute the day after the operation, because of course, as you can imagine, having your spine cut in 2 hurts, so they have you on a lot of pain medication, and the pain medication I was on was affecting my breathing, because it was slowing everything down, which was helping with the pain, but then it was stopping my breathing movements. So they had to take me off that, because it was also causing me to have hallucinations. Yeah, not the most fun time. So my recovery was very, I was a lot braver and stronger, I think, than people thought I was going to be. I was up in my chair after 3-4 days after surgery, mainly because I wanted to get out of the hospital. I don't like staying in hospitals for long periods of time, just because I miss my family and I miss my friends, and we were actually for children's hospital, which meant like staying away from where I usually, where everything was known and comfortable around me. And it was that summer where everything was so like it was the like Easter, where the whole UK was boiling. So you could imagine trying to deal with that in a hospital. Not the most fun. And of course you have all the noises, like the beeping of the machines and stuff, which also like don't help you get any sleep. So I was tired and wanted to go home. So I got 3rd or 4th day after surgery, I was up. I only managed an hour, but the nurses at the time had persuaded me, because it was warm. There was an ice cream van outside, outside the hospital. There was like a park that had an ice cream van. So me and my dad and my mum went to get ice cream, and I'll insert some pictures at the end so people can see like some of my experiences in hospital and stuff, because sometimes I think pictures kind of help. Of course, if you don't want to stay and look at the pictures, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, my recovery was pretty difficult, because of course you have to adjust again to a new position, and the fact that my back would no longer bend. Basically, my back's kind of fused together now, in a sense, like, because of the metalwork, I can't bend. So I had to get used to bending from my hips and not my back. Like, if you're an able-bodied person, you have slight movement in your back to move it, if that makes sense. But if you have scoliosis, it's extremely difficult after the surgery, if they give you the surgery, to be able to move your back fully. Like, there's no movement in it, so to speak. So yeah, that was really, really. I'm so proud of myself for getting through that, because that was like a surgery that I was terrified about, because like so much could have gone wrong. But I did it, and it's been 5 years. Still have the rods in my back. I get a bit of discomfort from time to time, because, well, if you have metal in your back, anywhere in your body, you kind of, there's this, it's not really a myth, but anyone who's had surgery to put metalwork in somewhere in the body, or if they've had an injury of some kind and it heals, you automatically like feel the cold more, because for some reason it's just how bodies work, and they go, oh, you've been injured, yep, you're gonna hate winter. So winter is a terrible time for me, but we manage. But yeah, I'd say there was a lot of things to learn after the back surgery that took me a while, and I think some people think that surgery is a fix-all, and it isn't. It's a fix some of it. And I had another surgery in 2000, well, this is going back a bit further. I'm not doing it in any particular order, but 2011 I had another surgery to put an intrathecal baclofen pump into my body, well, into my stomach cavity, and basically that leads a catheter up my spine that releases a muscle relaxant called baclofen into my system to help with my muscle spasms a bit more. And it was a trial at the time, so you had to, basically what happened was I got some baclofen injected into me for a trial to see if it would relax me enough, and it did. So then they proceeded to put the pump into my body. And the weirdest thing with that is, for the first 6 months to a year, I was constantly aware of it, constantly noticed that it was there because it was a big thing sticking out outside of me. Well, and the doctor would use an analogy of, after a while it'll feel like a watch, you'll stop noticing it's there. And gradually I did. But there's been so many times that, like, if I'm having a bad spasm day on my arms that get quite bad, I'll elbow myself in my pump, and it's the weirdest sentence to say ever, but it's weird, because you forget you've got this thing under your skin, and then you hit it or something, and it's like, oh yeah, it's still there. Hasn't gone anywhere. And it's so weird to elbow as well, because it like sends a weird like thingy around my ab, like around the area, because of course like it's metal, so it vibrates weirdly. I don't understand bodies and why they do stuff. But so that gets topped up every 4 to 6 weeks. They do this really cool thing with like Bluetooth, where they scan it to see how much is left in it and what needs to be taken out and my dosage and stuff, and then they have to stab me with a needle. Woohoo! So that's like an annual procedure that happens, but I'm really good at it now, more so. Well, because I'm an adult, so they don't use any numbings. They don't use like the freeze spray to numb it, so I end up having to do it like without anything, which it was really painful at first, but a bit like, I wouldn't say really painful, but like, you know when you get a bee, I can't even say a bee sting because I've never got stung by a bee, but I can imagine it's a bit like a bee sting. And like, if you get them often enough, it doesn't hurt, but it hurt the first time, without anything like to help. But now I'm pro at it again, so we're all good. And that's probably like an annual procedure. And I'd probably say like procedures that are made more difficult by my cerebral palsy are definitely like dental ones. They're really difficult. Like, there were so many times as a kid that I had to be put to sleep just so they could like take a tooth out, because I can't stay still. So like, yeah, someone comes at me with something, I'm moving. Like, you need me asleep. Not just for my safety, for the safety of the dentist who's gonna, yeah, it's not a fun time. And I can manage dental appointments fine and stuff like that, that's fine. But when it comes to like sharp, pointy things near me, it just doesn't work. We don't do that. We get put to sleep. And like, there's been other stuff that I've been had to put to sleep for because it involves me being really still, and I can't manage it. I think the last, and well, probably the first and last time that I was made to stay still was for like a CT scan, because they wouldn't put me under, so that was extremely difficult, because of course trying to tell your body that has involuntary movements that you can't control to stay still is really difficult. Like, they had straps and stuff to strap me down, but like, it's still so difficult to even get that thought across your head that I need to stay still right now. But like when your body doesn't listen to you anyway, it's kind of pointless. But yeah, that is kind of a quick overview of my life with cerebral palsy and all the different operations and procedures I've had. If there's other topics you would like me to cover in this new series that I'm going to do, please don't forget to comment them down below and like and share. And if you haven't subscribed, do so already. Thank you for watching, everyone.